On the 10th of March 2026, Reckless Ben was arrested for the first time in his life.
Am I being arrested?
We're under arrest right now for stalking.
Only 1 day later, his house was swatted by heavily armed police, resulting in his second arrest.
No. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that.
He was able to get out of jail both times on bail. However, for Ben, things escalated much faster than he could have ever imagined. A non-bailable warrant, a massive active lawsuit.
This company was telling the court that I was making bomb threats, I was planning on murdering the manager and employees.
So how could exposing a Lego scandal land him in this much trouble? Well, the answer to that question is simple. He pissed them off, and there are consequences for that. Let's begin by looking at the final video posted to his channel, during which Ben will give a grim update on his situation.
I am no longer allowed to even mention this mystery company.
For those of you who are out of the loop on what's going on, this is basically about a series of investigations carried out by Reckless Ben to help a man named Bryan get back the Legos he put on consignment at Bricks and Minifigs, which were allegedly stolen by this very store. With a temporary restraining order signed by a judge, they have now legally silenced him from saying anything related to them. Despite the third episode of his investigation being fully completed, he had no choice but to keep his mouth shut.
Can't post it or I will go to jail. Not only that, I will also immediately lose my lawsuit of $300,000.
Sadly for Ben, this figure is way too optimistic. Since Bricks and Minifigs is pursuing this lawsuit with the RICO Act, this allows them to seek double damages, easily pushing the final penalty to at least $600,000. But according to Coffeezilla, the figure could actually skyrocket to 1.3 million, which to be fair is pretty accurate, as he would also have to cover additional penalties and legal fees. While this is already more than enough to leave him broke, the worst is yet to come, as the very videos he posted could eventually spiral out of control and be used against him in court. Let me show you how. In order to help Bryan get back the Legos, he would adopt some unusual investigation tactics along the way. Remember when Ben was trying to get the staff to sign a contract with his friend disguised as a UPS driver?
Hi, sorry, I got a delivery. Can I get a signature?
For some reason, Amanda just started signing our contract without even reading it.
Thank you so much.
His whole idea was to legally stop the store from trespassing him so he could investigate without interference, but from a professional lawyer's perspective, this is deadly.
You cannot have a contract executed by deception. And using a routine package delivery to get a signature doesn't work, because that's what we call fraud in the inducement. You're inducing someone, you're tricking someone into a contract.
Ben would also bring up the duty to read law.
In America, we have a duty to read contracts law, which states that you have to read a contract before you sign it. And if you forget to read it or you just choose not to read it, it's your fault and you still have to do everything the contract says.
But this doesn't work.
That doesn't apply at all for something where you have no idea you're signing a contract.
Besides this unlawful method of getting the contract signed, he would also make a serious mistake in writing the contract.
I, Ben Schneider, should not be trespassed, and all of these legal words, for any circumstance whatsoever and for literally any reason, including a clause that says for every police officer she calls on me, she owes me $5,000.
Once again, this doesn't work.
The other thing is terms in there like you can't call the police, you can't trespass. Those are both unconscionable and they cannot be contracted.
Going back how he got the signature, this could actually land him in jail.
If they charged him with forgery in the second degree, a misdemeanor, he'd face up to a year behind bars. But if they pushed for forgery in the first degree, which is a Class C felony for fabricating a commercial contract with fake financial penalties, he would be facing up to 5 years in state prison.
Bear in mind, this is coming from a YouTuber who has been highly critical of Ben's investigation, which means his words might be biased or exaggerated. However, he would also mention key evidence that may put Ben in an even worse position.
Ben claims he was stopped and his car was searched for 2 hours for drugs, but it turns out that the body cam footage shows that the car was only searched for 26 minutes.
The vehicle will be searched. Yeah, you're gonna have you stick around until I search it.
After 2 hours of searching the car, obviously they found no drugs.
So, he didn't find
Now, some people might argue that the search was still ongoing when the officers said they found no drugs, so the actual search time could be longer than 26 minutes. However, I checked the original body cam footage. It ended exactly at 20:35, right before the officer let them go.
Other than that, we're gonna let you guys go. Okay? Thank you.
Meaning there is no way it took 2 hours.
Why lie about an additional hour and a half of the police searching your car that never happened?
The answer to that is pretty straightforward. It's either a false memory or he exaggerated a bit to make the video more appealing for the audience, which when combined with his other statements makes the latter seem more likely to be the case. Take for example the girl he found as a process server. He would state in the video that
I literally met her like 10 minutes before we showed up here.
But when he was interrogated by the police, he would state it differently.
My first time meeting her ever was yesterday.
To be fair, this kind of exaggeration is pretty normal on YouTube, yet this inevitably gives the opposing lawyers a massive opportunity. They could say, if he's willing to exaggerate details like this, it's surely possible he exaggerated the other allegations as well. This undoubtedly puts Ben in a tough spot, making it harder for his lawyer to defend him. Aside from that, Ben would add another crucial point in his final response.
The only problem is I was not given a chance to share my side. The court just heard their perspective, not mine.
On the surface, it seemed to be a devastating setback for Ben, although the whole situation could completely backfire to his own benefit. From a legal perspective, the reason he can share his side of the story is because the court has entered an ex-parte order, meaning the judge made the decision without Ben being present. So why is this happening? After going through the original court document, the answer to this is pretty clear. Plaintiffs continue to suffer ongoing and irreparable harm each day. They cited evidence such as threatening emails, immediate resumption of harassment after bail, surveillance and filming into homes using concealed cameras, and much more. However, this is where things could take a dramatic turn, since the order is given to prevent any further escalation of the situation. The law requires Bricks and Minifigs to be completely honest, meaning they have to disclose key facts, even against their own interests. But what if the judge were to determine that the company intentionally concealed evidence that works against them? Well, firstly, the order that was put on Ben to silence him could immediately be lifted. On top of that, it could destroy their credibility with the court, which might eventually cause them to lose the whole case. So were they being completely transparent? Well, you can be the judge of that. For example, surely they included the audio of them warning the original store owner, right?
Here's their executive product manager and director of operations, Kai McAllister, on the phone with us the night they took the store.
If you want to go the legal route, it's just going to be a mess and it's going to be expensive for you. If you fight this, then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat. I can acknowledge you feeling that because in a way it is.
They must have also included the audio where Josh warned reckless Ben, right?
Josh did threaten me in the last video that if I go out and actually try to sue him, he's gonna come out and say that I'm the one that stole the Legos.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Hey, fuck you, man. You stole them, bitch.
I stole the Legos?
Yeah, you're a fucking thief.
Dang. Okay.
You can shut the fuck up. That's your fucking choice.
This warning just so happened to occur right before Ben was swatted by the police with a search warrant for the quote-unquote stolen Legos. Or what about this? In the document, Bricks and Minifigs seems to claim the consignment product does not exist. But during the phone call between Josh and Ben, Josh will admit that the Legos do exist.
When Bryan first came in, we identified anything that was on that list that would have been his that Amanda didn't sell, and we set it aside. And it's still sitting there. We're happy to give you your stuff back.
I'm no judge or lawyer. I don't know if omitting this is technically considered misleading the court. But one thing is clear. I couldn't find this evidence in this document. Maybe there's another filing out there that I'm not aware of, or maybe they aren't legally required to provide it. I'm not sure. Regardless, this lawsuit will most likely still be an uphill battle for Ben, because he might have accidentally stumbled into something much more dangerous. I discovered it through a seemingly unrelated story of a former Florida BAM franchise owner. In short, his franchise store fell into financial distress, so corporate sending Josh and Brandon to quote-unquote rescue the store, after which the inventory was counted. Corporate therefore took control of the store before hitting him with a $70,000 fine.
By the way, twice they tried to fire me, accusing me that I stole Legos.
With no evidence, I'm guessing.
Josh did.
Yeah, it's funny because Josh said he was gonna accuse Ben of he stole the Legos.
Dude, yeah.
You stole them, bitch.
I stole the Legos?
Yeah, you're a fucking thief.
Now comes the most crucial part of the story. The company then came over to the store one day, loaded the majority of the inventory into a U-Haul truck.
3 guys from corporate flew out overnight and they're just tossing things in a U-Haul, shutting the place down.
Before we dive into the next part, I have to make one thing very clear. This video does not make any legal accusations. I'm merely commenting based on publicly available sources under the protection of the First Amendment. On the r/RecklessBen subreddit, a user named MachoTaco24 made the following post. The Florida ex-BAM owner story makes this look like a playbook. The user then compared this Florida BAM incident to the Oregon BAM incident Ben was investigating and found some remarkable similarities. Same distress situation, same Josh Brandon showing up, same rescue language, same way treating the old owner, and most importantly, possibly same U-Haul truck stories. Remember the video Coffeezilla recently posted titled "I found the 200,000 missing Lego," during which he would make a pivotal discovery?
Wait a minute. Zoom in on that photo. Bring up the brightness of this photo a little bit and... My gosh. There's a U-Haul in the parking lot right outside of the store the night of November 14th, 2024.
Notice the timing here. This was the exact day Josh and Brandon took over the Oregon store. While the true purpose of that U-Haul is still up for debate, it was more than enough for this Reddit user to piece together a wild speculation. According to the post, if there is any potential playbook, it could be like this, quote, "Move the product out, mix it into another store, blame the old owner, say records were messy, say corporate didn't know. By the time anyone asks where the inventory went, it's already scattered." That could also explain why BAM is fighting this so hard. Paying Bryan could have been cheap. Nuking the brand over this only makes sense if the real fear is discovery into every store Josh and Brandon rescued. Note that this is purely a wild conspiracy theory. There is no concrete evidence suggesting any of this is real. I bring this up not to state it as a fact, but to examine the public discourse. Understanding what the community believes is crucial to understanding why both sides are fighting so aggressively over a seemingly simple Lego dispute. Please do not send hate to anyone involved, but regardless of the truth, this undoubtedly plunges Ben into the eye of the storm.